The science of Derby, the science of Derby. Let's learn something new.
Hi, and welcome to The Science of Derby. Today we're going to talk about backward skating. Now this is an essential skill that lots of newer skaters struggle with. So we're going to break it down a bit. I'm going to give you some tips for how to get going. So if you are brand new to skating backwards, the easiest way to sort of get started is take a nice upright with your back derby position, knees bent, and do what we call lemons or Coke bottles. Try to go out and then in. Move yourself back. So give that a shot and see if you can't get yourself moving in the backwards direction. Now, doing those like lemons or Coke bottles is a great way to get started moving backwards, but don't do it for longer than the first or second day. Because what you don't want to do is build a habit of having your weight stuck between 2 feet. It's a really hard habit to break, and everything in roller derby, from stops to turns, to blocking to jamming to jumping, everything is transferring your weight from one foot to another and having 100% of your weight on one foot at a time. It's pretty rare that you have your weight split between 2 legs. So get out of that habit. So you can do this against the wall. Just practice shifting your weight from side to side. You can take a wide stance. That's nice. And so if you're against the wall, you want your back pushed against the wall. And if this is still hard for you, you can do this in sneakers. Put the heels against the wall, put your back against the wall, and you actually want to push your right shoulder really hard against the wall while your heels are against the wall. And then just shift your weight from side to side while pushing back against that wall. So you've probably heard this before, but when humans walk, we're actually falling forward. Walking is the art of falling. Anyway, we take our center of mass, we try to get it in front of our feet, and so our feet have to catch up and go underneath our mass. This is how walking works. And so when you're skating backwards, it's actually the same thing. We want our center of mass to be behind our heels, to be behind our weight. So even if I arch back, I start rolling even without moving my feet. It's physics, we need our weight behind there. So when you're skating backwards, if you're in this position, you're always going to struggle. Because every time you move your feet, you're going to be falling forward, which is actually not what you want. You want to be falling backwards to get the speed and control you want. Bend your knees, but keep your back straight or even slightly arched. And while we're going around the roller derby track, we actually get a rotation inwards towards the center of the track to really get our weight falling in to the center of the circle. There's a lot more information about that in my video on stride, so check it out. Believe it or not, you're almost done. You're almost a master of backward skating. All you need to do is transfer your weight from side to side, and then get your weight going backwards, and you will start automatically. That was moving from one side to another. That's really it. So let's talk a little bit about crossovers. So once you've got this transfer of weight from foot to foot, you're able to find the body position to get yourself moving backwards. Going into a crossover is really easy. It's the same thing. When my weight's transferred to my inside leg, I just cross over with my outside leg. I transfer to that leg, reach with my inside leg, cross over, reach, cross over, reach. And now to get the speed and power you need, once that's a little more comfortable, I cross over, I reach, and then I really want to pull with this leg. I want to pull to get all my power from that inside leg as I'm doing this weight transfer. And it's really key to start to get that dig, that really aggressive dig with your inside leg. I'm pulling as I'm transferring. I'm pulling as I'm transferring the weight. And then I get my back arched. And I've got a beautiful, perfect crossover backwards. Let's try a skate's eye view of that crossover. So I'm pulling, pulling, pulling. One great drill you can do to practice this really aggressive cross under is just to take two lines and go line to line, starting with that weight transfer and really aggressive and pulling, stopping on the line, going back. This is really treating these quick transitions as opposed to kind of flow. Line to line. If you're facing the other players, do this really strong weight transfer from side, really getting that aggressive. Here's one more great drill to practice this, and it involves your transitions and really getting that aggressive cross under. Choose a series of pylons or the 10-foot mark lines, and as you approach one, aggressively cross under. Cross under. Let's take a look at that with the skates. So as you hit a pylon, you're going to transition, cross under really aggressively, and transition out. Transition, cross under, transition out. Transition, cross under, transition out. Transition, cross under, transition. Transition, cross under, transition. Transition, cross under, transition. And that's it for backward skating. Thanks so much for joining. I hope that's really helpful. And this science is going to help you get skating backwards like us. See you soon.
The science of derby, the science of derby. Let's learn something